YouTubers, welcome back to AZ2 Ozarks. Today I am sharing with you my recipe for making traditional Jewish babka. Now traditionally you would make babka, which is a sweet kind of dessert bread with leftover challah dough. But I don't know about you, in my house there is never any such thing as leftover challah dough. So this recipe will be specific for making babka. Now you can fill it with any kind of thing that you would like to. Jams are a great thing, so think of like orange marmalade or blueberry jam are very delicious. Today I will be making with chocolate, and I like to use just chocolate Nutella spread, but you can certainly use an off-brand store brand for that as well. This dough has eggs in it for richness, and if you use farm eggs that have very rich yellow yolks, you're going to have a more yellow dough, which is kind of the traditional way of having it. You can certainly use regular store eggs as well. There is some sugar in the dough, and it's just a really nice dough, but a little bit on the heavy side, so you won't get a ton of rising prior to baking. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. In the bowl of your mixer, you will add 3 cups of strong bread flour, 1/2 cup white granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 2 teaspoons active dry yeast. Here I'm going to use 2 large farm fresh eggs. You can use whatever eggs you have. This is just what is convenient for us. And crack them into a liquid measuring cup. And then you will fill up to the 1 cup measurement with water. Then your 1 cup egg and water mixture. Fit the bowl with the dough hook attachment and close and lock your machine and begin on a slow speed. Once the dough starts coming together, you can increase speed. That is just so that it doesn't puff everywhere right when you start. After about 5 minutes, you should have a nice dough coming together. And you can remove it from the dough hook and remove it from the bowl. And then you have your dough, and I like to kind of form it, kind of tuck it under, form it into a loose ball. And it is a little bit sticky, but you don't want it too sticky, and you definitely don't want it too dry. So then I place it into a well-greased bowl. I like to use coconut oil. I just use a paper towel and spread the oil around in there. And we will cover it and allow it to rise for about 45 minutes. Our dough has been rising for an hour now, so I let it go a little bit longer because it must be a little cooler in the kitchen today. You can also put it into the oven on your bread-proof setting if you have that on your oven, and that helps it stay nice and warm. This dough does not puff up super huge in the first rise just because it is heavier with the sugar and the egg. Next, we're going to want to prepare our loaf pan. And so I have some coconut oil on a paper towel and liberally grease it. You don't want it sticking to your pan. And you can use whatever oil you like for this. You can also use butter. I just prefer coconut oil myself. And then I also like to grease the surface I'm working on a little bit because it tends to be a little bit sticky. And this will help us shape it without it sticking to the counter and allow us to peel it up nice and easy. So now I will take the dough and put it out onto our working surface. And now we're just going to shape it into a big rectangle. And the width you want to be approximately the width of your bread pan, maybe a little bit less, just because we are going to roll it up, and when you roll it up, it tends to make it a little bit wider. All right, So now we have a good rectangle, and this I would say is about a 1/2 inch thickness. You can use a rolling pin if you like to. I don't find it necessary. Now we will use our chocolate spread. So you can use Nutella, or if you want to use the store brand is fine. That's what I am using today. And you just spread a thin layer all over your dough. All right, now you have your chocolate spread over, and we're just going to pull it from the end closest to you and start rolling it. And this is definitely a messy project. I kind of press it together a little bit, which isn't necessary. And next we're going to use a pizza slicer. Taking a pizza slicer, I start at one end, but not going all the way to the end, and cut it down. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't cut exactly how you like, and then you kind of turn it out and turn this one out. We are going to twist them. So one over the other, and then one over the other. And then I will scoop it into my pan. I kind of scrunch them together like this and lift it up. Let's get the pan in the frame and then set it down into our pan. We will allow this to rise again, and while it's rising, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Our shaped dough has been rising for about an hour, and I do have the oven preset for 350 degrees, all nice and warm. So I will take my cover off. And by the way, these are just shower caps that you can get by bulk at Walmart, and obviously never used, but they are wonderful for covering dough and bread. So you can see that it has filled the pan, but it is not much over the top of the pan. So it will continue to rise in the oven. We are going to put it in and bake for 30 minutes. Depending on your oven, you may want to take a peek and check on it around 25 minutes. All right, it's been 30 minutes. It's looking pretty good. Let's take it out of the oven and get a better look. Isn't that nice looking? You can see that it has puffed up quite a bit above the level of the pan. So it did a lot of that puffing in the oven after we began baking, and you can see all those lovely swirls of chocolate there. So let's give it some time to cool off, and then we will cut into it. Look at our lovely loaf. I brought it out of the pan in order to cool completely, but you can see this rich yellow color from the yolks of the egg, and it is just so lovely. This is a wonderful gift to give because it has such a good display and presentation. So let's go ahead and slice into it. It's also very nice for making French toast. You can certainly just eat it the way it is, or you can toast it with butter. It's not really a sandwich bread, obviously, because you know, it doesn't hold together that well as it's very sweet. So the only thing remaining now is a taste test. All right, I have my taste tester here with me, and we have some of our babka dough, babka bread. Go ahead and give it a try. It's a nice soft and squishy, very spongy, and it definitely has a sweet flavor to it. What do you think?
Tastes good.
You have anything else to add?
No.
All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos in the future.